Okay, so for dish number 2 in the Combi pan, we've got Anton's at the Hungry Carper minted lamb chops. These are just to die for. We've had them a few times, and oh my god, they are just delicious. To serve with that, just because we're going to make a complete meal here, I'm going to show you how to make homemade quick minted mushy peas. We're going to have some fried potatoes with that, and then we're going to just have a little pot of gravy on the side. Everything sorted in one pan. So let's show you how. Okay, so first things first, let's get our gas hot, let's get our pan hot. One of the things that I see most commonly when people use the RidgeMonkey is that they're not getting the pan hot. One of the most important things when cooking steak or lamb chops or the kebabs that we've just done is that your pan is hot. If it doesn't, it kind of turns your meat grey, if that makes sense. So if you ever get a grey steak, it's because the pan hasn't been made hot first. So the first thing to do is get your pan hot. When you put the meat in, you want it to go shh, like that. That means you've got the pan at the right temperature. Just a little tip. So first things first, I'm not going to put any oil in with the minted lamb chops because it's going to produce its own. But what I do want to do is put a little bit of oil there to do our fried potatoes. So a little bit in there. Again, we want to get the oil hot. So we're just going to wait for a minute, get the whole pan nice and smoking, and then we can start cooking. Okay, we have a nice hot Combi pan. First things first is I'm going to tip in, we've got cooked new potatoes. You could just put these in a bag, cook them up at home. It just means they cook so much quicker. So in they go. Hear the sizzle? That's what we're listening for. Get that on. I'm just going to wait another minute just to make sure my pan is really hot. Okay, so we've got our potatoes doing. Just going to open up the lamb chops. Okay, hear that sound? That's what you need to be hearing when you cook meat on the pan. You need noise, whether you cook steak, you cook lamb, you cook chicken. That will form you that nice brown outside that you need on your steak. Number 2. Now we're just going to leave that to fry and get golden. Don't want to move it too quick. The longer you can leave it, the better. That will form that lovely golden crust that we all enjoy on it. Just have a look at these potatoes. They're doing their thing, so it's all good. I'm just going to put some water on to boil to make our gravy with. There we go. Now we're just going to wait. Mushy peas next. May sound a little horrible to you if you don't like mushy peas, but you need to try them. So a little bit of oil, because we're just going to fry up these leeks, and they are leeks, they've come out of our garden, baby leeks, micro leeks. Just going to chop them up. They're going to go in with our oil to fry a little bit. There we go. While that's going on, got some fresh mint. Just going to chop that up. You get it as fine as you can, really, so you don't have any chewy bits. There we go. So that's all ready for the next stage. Again, we're just waiting to have a little peek at our lamb. Oh wow, look at that. There we go. That's doing its thing there very nicely. So we've just turned them. We want to fry up the leeks a little bit. The potatoes are doing their thing. Just got to wait. Okay, so we've got the whole Combi pan doing its thing here. My little leeks have started to sweat down a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is add our peas. These are just frozen peas. You can bring them frozen if they're thawed out, it really doesn't matter. Fresh peas even better. We're just going to tip them into the pan. Then I've got a little bit of one of these little stock pots. You could use a stock cube. You won't need all of this, and you don't have to use it, but it does add a really good base flavour to the mushy peas. I'm just going to hoik a little bit of that out. There we go. So that's a chicken stock gel. And then we're just going to add some water. Not loads, just enough to bring it to the boil. Give it a little bit of a stir. And now we just want to bring those peas up to the boil. All those flavours will go in, and then right at the last minute we're going to add the mint. You don't want to add it too early because it will go khaki coloured and the vibrancy of the flavour will dull down, so it's just a very last minute thing. As for the rest of it, as you can see, it's all doing its thing. That's my alarm's going off, but all is well. So just awaiting the game again now. As you can see, our lamb is doing supremely well there. We've got our mushy peas, we've got our water for our gravy, we've got the potatoes looking nice and golden. The next thing we're just going to do is sprinkle over the mint. A little bit of mint go on them potatoes as well, that won't do any harm at all. Mix in the mint. And then the next thing, to get that mushy pea effect, we just use the back of the spoon and just press against the edge so you crush your peas. Obviously if you were at home you'd have a potato masher, or you could even blitz them in a food processor a little bit. You want to see a little bit of texture, but now the peas are smashed up and they smell great. So there we go, that shows how that's done. Next thing, I'm just going to add a little bit of gravy granules to that. Give it a very quick stir. I know it's very instant, but at the end of the day we're by the bank. Give them a little bit of a poke around. Gravy's just coming to the boil. You've got to admit that looks good. That's a full dinner, just like you'd have at home, but by the bank. There we go. Minted lamb chops, sauté potatoes, gravy, homemade mushy peas. Job's done.